From South Carolina Public Radio, this is Who, What, When, an hour of history, games, and trivia. I'm Daniel Thompson.
And I'm Brennan Gray. Open the pod bay doors and take me to your leader. Today's show is devoted to science fiction in pop culture.
Coming up this hour, we're going to work with Brand on that voice. We're going to talk
Okay.
technology that sounds like it could be science fiction, sing some bad karaoke based on the plots of famous sci-fi stories, and hear a few tales from history about aliens, Bigfoot, and space travel.
If you think that sounds fun, we'd love for you to join us. All you got to do is call or text us, 803-470-6347. That's 803-470-6347. Or you can send us an email, whowhatwhen at scpublicradio.org is that email address. You could possibly take home the title of Who What When Champion of the Week and the trophy, the thing that matters, the Who What When fanny pack.
Bran, you said it. That fanny pack's so out of this world, it might seem like science fiction, but we promise you, it's the real deal.
Oh, there's nothing fiction about it, Dan. It's a science fact.
Yeah, it is. Fact. Are you a sci-fi guy?
Yes, I love aliens. I love Back to Futures. I'm a big fan of all of it, but I'm down for most science fiction stories. Sometimes I get lost in the weeds a little bit, but I'm down for it.
Yeah, even a bad sci-fi movie can be fun.
That's exactly
Brand. Do you
right.
know what the first science fiction story was?
Dog Goes Hunting.
Dog Goes Hunting is incorrect. We're looking for Jules Verne's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, published in 1870. Many historians point to Mary Shelley's Frankenstein from 1818 as another early example of the genre, and other researchers like to say that Jonathan Swift was writing science fiction even earlier than that when he published Gulliver's Travels in the 1720s, which really it's about how you define science fiction, you know, Bran?
So it's not Dog Goes Hunting?
Not Dog Goes Hunting.
Well, I've heard several different examples there. Are you saying that none of them are the first true sci-fi story?
They aren't, because there's not really a consensus on the issue. It's kind of a trick question. Sorry.
Well, so it could be Dog Goes Hunting.
It could not. There's some debate about what should be considered called science fiction before the 1920s, because that's when the term was coined. Authors like Jules Verne, Mary Shelley, and of course H.G. Wells with War of the Worlds, Time Machine, they're all seen as early pioneers of what we now call as sci-fi.
That's right. And we should say that there's also debate when it comes down to hard science fiction, where it's more about real technology and innovation versus science fantasy adventure stories like Star Wars and the such. But for our purposes today, we're going to put it all on the table and say anything goes.
Yeah, sci-fi nerds are going to be upset because
They will.
sci-fi's fine, fantasy's fine, big umbrella
Big
here
umbrella.
on Who, What, When. And we wanted to say this up top so we don't get too many emails about it. You were warned.
If you do want to email us, though, you can do that. We'd love for you to be a contestant
Yeah.
and play some games with us today. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Sure will, Bran. We've got two contestants with us right now on the line. Caller number one, what's your name? Where are you from?
Hey guys, it's Nathan from Greenville, South Carolina. How's it going?
Oh, from Greenville. That's our neck of the
I
woods,
always
Bran.
get excited when I hear
Yeah.
Greenville because there's a chance in some passing. Maybe we've been to the grocery store together and we didn't know it.
Yeah. Maybe we've been to
Yeah,
the...
I
Where do you shop,
Where do you
Nathan?
shop, Nathan? Which grocery store?
Brand, I shop where you shop, 2 steps behind you and just around the corner.
Well,
Brand's first
that's
stalker.
you. I love this guy.
Brand's first stalker.
I love
That's
this guy.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Publix at McBee was the correct answer.
That's exactly
That was the correct answer.
I don't go there.
No, you're not hot
I go to
enough.
a different Publix.
Yeah, it's hot Publix. You have to be a certain level of... There's a certain level of attractiveness you
You
have to
think
be
we're kidding.
to go to Publix at McBee, and I have met that standard, and Brandon's not.
That's right.
It's pretty straightforward. Nathan, how big of a sci-fi guy are you?
You know, when I was in high school, I was into some Isaac Asimov and some of the classics.
Our caller number two is in trouble.
Caller number 2 just hung up. I hate that.
Yeah, but then I got out of the habit. But my most recent sci-fi read was Project Hail Mary. And there is an alien. It's sort of a Muppet-style alien situation, but sorry if that's a spoiler.
Dang it! I was in the middle of it.
You can't see us here in the studio, but Brand had his Project Hail Mary
I ripped
copy
it in
out.
half.
That's right.
Lighting it on fire.
I can tell you already, this is not going to be that deep, Nathan. So that's good for you. And caller number 2, I hope you got some sci-fi background as well.
Hopefully you have somebody that you can call up like Jimmy Rablubli from the land of Oron.
You clearly know your sci-fi.
I know my sci-fi.
For sure. Caller number 2, what's your name? Where are you from?
I'm Chase. I'm also from Greenville, and I desperately wish to be caller number 1.
Yeah.
We have 2 callers from Greenville this
Where
week.
do you shop, Chase?
DoorDash, mostly.
Yeah.
DoorDash. Yeah.
He doesn't. You don't like to get out of your house.
He's a man of efficiency.
That's right. You listen to South Carolina Public Radio on your smart speaker, which
That's right.
you can do.
You just say, hey, play Who What When.
That's
and
all.
it plays
That's all.
it.
Yeah, that's all you have to do. Chase, how are you with sci-fi?
Oh yeah, I'm reading that Ivo Kazilov.
That's right. I think that was right.
You're a big Kazilov head.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
100%.
Of course.
100%. I think it's going to be a good battle.
I think
today.
it is, because the good news is, Chase, is that this is not going to be any Project Hail Mary talk. It's going to be more of the mainstream sci-fi.
That's right.
For all of us.
No
that are
Hail
listening.
Marys here, everybody.
No Hail Marys here. Well, no promises. We ready to get to our first game?
I would love to.
I love that both of these contestants playing our first game and our second game. One will move on to our third game with a chance to win, Bran, that Who Will Win fanny pack.
That's exactly right. And the fanny pack is so special this week that I am going to tell you about it primarily in beep boops. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Beep beep boop boop beep beep.
Whoa.
I know.
Beep, beep?
Beep beep.
That's crazy.
AT, am I allowed to say that on the air? Yeah, he's good. All right,
you'll
we're
bleep
beeping.
it.
We're
Bleep
beeping
the-
out the beep loops.
Bleep the beep.
Got it.
All right, let's play our first game. It's called Science or Fiction.
Science or fiction.
Basically, I'm going to talk about something that happens in a sci-fi movie or book.
Yeah.
And then tell you about real science.
Okay.
That's happening right now in our world, and our caller has to tell us if that what I said is basically true or false. Is it actual science, or is it fiction, and does it not actually exist?
Got it. So there's things while we're like watching a sci-fi movie, we're like, well, that couldn't actually happen.
That's right.
Perhaps it could.
Perhaps it could. That's why we're playing this little round of trivia, Brain.
I love it. Science or fiction.
And our first caller is our first picker on Science or Fiction. Nathan, are you ready?
Let's go.
Here we go. In Star Wars, ships routinely get caught in a tractor beam that halts their ship from flying and pulls it into the enemy's base. An Australian university was able to recreate a tractor beam, albeit on a very small scale. Using lasers, they could successfully control a tiny object about 1/5 of a millimeter long and move it about 8 inches.
We're practically there.
A laser tractor beam.
Yeah.
Nathan, is that science or fiction?
So 2 weeks ago, I would have said fiction, but I just finished, as you may have heard, a book called Project Hail Mary.
I've heard about it.
Shout out.
Did you write this book?
In which they dive into the science and walk through the fact that the difference between matter and light and energy, it all gets real fuzzy. So on small enough scales, light becomes a propulsion mechanism. And so since laser is some version of light, I'm going to go with this is science.
Chase, congratulations on second place this week, buddy. So first of all, Nathan is the new host of Who What When for Science Fiction Week.
That's right.
And second of all, he's 100% correct about everything that he said.
Yes.
So yeah, we can't move big ships, but at a very small scale, we can move things very small distances.
That's
And
all that you really
that's
want.
terrifying,
Yeah.
though, in a sense.
Yeah.
Tractor beams are real.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can continue to.
And listen, there's a
That's right.
lot of small things that have big things
That's right.
to do with it. You know what I mean?
Big packages.
All I'm
right,
saying
yeah.
is just because something's small doesn't mean that it doesn't matter.
That's right. And that's beep, beep, boop, boop.
That's beep beep boop boop.
Okay,
That's right.
got it. Chase, the board is yours here on Science or Fiction. Ready or not, here's your clue. Between Harry Potter and the Predator, cloaking devices are riddled throughout science fiction, which is why scientists at Rochester University have developed a utensil which isn't quite big enough yet to hide a person or a ship, but could successfully conceal a 3-foot by 3-foot solid object, rendering it invisible.
Wow.
A real-life cloaking device, Chase. Science or fiction?
Well, guys, I didn't realize I'd be going up against Bill Nye, the science guy, this morning. But I've got a little science of my own.
Uh-oh.
I've read a lot of Harry Potter.
Yeah.
And so when I was a kid, I remember looking up if the invisibility cloak was real, and they were in the progress of developing technology of a blanket with cameras that would project the image behind it onto the front of it, making it look invisible. That being said, I'm still going to go fiction.
Chase showing his knowledge, and it all has helped him. He is
Wow.
correct with
How
fiction.
about that?
And everything Chase said is also accurate. While they can make something look invisible with cameras, when it comes to invisibility and cloaking, if you don't have lenses and a precise location, if something's moving, you cannot cloak it yet.
Yeah.
All you can do is an optical illusion. Chase is correct.
All right.
Maybe it's going to be a battle here, Brandon.
It could be. I like it.
Let's go. That's right. He's fired up.
Wow.
That fanny pack means something to Chase. You can tell.
It does. It does. The
Yeah.
good news is Chase doesn't leave his home. So
That's good.
He's not driving around. He's
That's
not doing anything. Everybody's safe.
That's right. Everybody's safe. That's exactly right. It's 1-1. We're playing science or fiction.
Science or fiction.
On South Carolina Public Radio, Who, What, When, your hour of history, games, and trivia. Nathan, the board is yours. Your next question here on science or fiction. In Star Trek, sick characters would head to the sick bay, where they'd receive a hypospray injection from a device with no needles, instead delivering medicine through the skin. Well, MIT has released actual hypospray devices that can be used to inject drugs at the speed of sound,
Wow.
hoping to one day reduce the need for needles.
Freaking hope so.
Nathan, science or fiction?
So now we get into the head games. Would you lob two true science questions at me back to back? That's my distraction right
Yeah,
now.
what about
because
Project
my
Hail Mary?
instinct-
Yeah, does Project Hail Mary have anything to say about this?
Well, no, unfortunately, no. My instinct is, so our skin is the biggest organ in the human body. Like, it is the human body. So medicating the skin is a real thing. So the idea of spraying medication onto skin and it absorbing and being effective, that doesn't seem far-fetched at all. I guess the question would be whether this is able to take any medication and get it into you. But since it's MIT and since it's still in testing phases, I'm still going to go with science on this one. I think they're working on it.
He talked it out. He thought it out. He threw a Project Hail Mary, and he's correct.
Oh,
He's
amazing.
correct.
Yeah.
I got to be
Nathan-
honest. I don't know what I got to do to
That's
help
right. You
MIT
hate
make
needles.
this a reality. This would be awesome. This
Yeah.
would be awesome for me.
So
Don't like needles.
he hates needles. We had to
That's
do,
why I only do stick-on tats.
we had to do the COVID test when they put the thing right up your nose, and he didn't like that one bit. I
That's
thought he was going to
exactly
have a
right.
full panic attack. That's not
That's
even
not-
a needle,
but
it's
it could
invasive.
be. What if it was?
What if it was? The answer is science. MIT is developing this. The tech for this actually predates Star Trek. All the way, the first jet injector was in 1960.
Wow.
But there is a complicated process of making it like medicating through
Right.
this. But they're on the way, Brand.
Okay.
They're on the way. Maybe in your lifetime, no more needles.
Fingers
Which would be
crossed.
fantastic. That's great. All right, it's 2-1. Chase, the board is yours. We're playing science or fiction. Your next clue. Another classic device of sci-fi is teleportation, transporting instantly from one spot to another in the blink of an eye. While this is clearly not possible over long distances with large amounts of mass, the process of quantum entanglement, or changing a particle's location, has successfully been tested on objects in labs in the United Kingdom. Chase, is that science or fiction?
I don't have any fancy explanation for this one. All I know is if this is not fiction, then I am never coming back on this show. I'm throwing the fanny pack. I'm going to find this guy's house, player one. I'm going to take the fanny pack. I'm going to incinerate it.
Wow.
It's got to be fiction.
Gotta be fiction. It is fiction, Chase. That is correct. It is fiction. Quantum entanglement is a theory and has been successful on data or information, but not on atoms, molecules, people, or matter. So Nathan is safe. The fanny pack will not be incinerated.
That's crazy.
Unless no one wins it, and you've told me that you will burn it here in the office.
Absolutely, I will.
All right, Nathan, it's 2-2. It's back to you. That rhymed. It's SC Public Radio. It's Who, What, When. Science or fiction.
We got a perfect game going. I know it's early.
Perfect game. You called it. You called your shot. There. Here we go.
I did.
Virtually every sci-fi action movie has some sort of phaser or laser gun. And the U.S. military has created an electric rifle, while not quite a laser pistol, works like a microwave oven, causing extreme heat under the skin of whomever is shot.
Wow.
Laser rifle. Is it science or fiction, Nathan?
Oof. Geez, this is a real bummer of a question because it's giving like napalm vibes.
Yeah.
Like, why are we creating such a horrifically flesh-destroying entity? And so just for that reason, for the historicity of it, I'm unfortunately going to go with science. We're trying to zap people at a distance.
Yeah, Nathan has a pretty good grasp on our nation's history and just the history of war in general to know that that's true. That is 100% science. They're working on an
Yeah.
electric rifle to burn people.
What it is actually is people just throw pizza bites at the other person. It splatters and it burns
It's
their
lava
skin.
hot or ice cold. Sometimes they're ice cold.
I know.
And it's a
tough, and
different
you never know
animal
what it
altogether.
is. And then you put it in the microwave for another 30 seconds, and next thing you
That's
know,
right.
you're
That's
dying.
right. Yeah. If you've been shot with an electric rifle, you can actually heat up pizza bites in your hands.
You can.
Which is the one
It's the one bonus.
the one bonus. A lot of cons, one pro there.
Yeah.
All right, it's 3-2. Perfect game still intact since we're calling it. We're calling our shot. Chase, the floor and the board is back to you. Are you ready for your next question here on Science or Fiction?
Yes, I am.
Here we go. Many futuristic sci-fi shows, books, and movies exist in a world where sustenance is created by a machine on demand. In other words, food is just engineered instead of crafted in a kitchen. Well, the future is now as Columbia University has created 3D food printing.
Whoa.
Which can produce entirely cooked meals
No.
from a machine.
No.
Chase, listening to Bran or not, science or fiction?
I'm conflicted about this one. My gut is telling me to go science. However, I don't see a world in which Big Wendy's is allowing food scarcity to end.
Big Wendy's.
So I'm going to have to go fiction.
He's going to go fiction, and we have our first incorrect answer.
Oh, Chase.
Yeah.
We have our first incorrect answer.
No.
And it's because you called Wendy big. And I think that's what you need to take away from this.
She's doing the best she can.
That's exactly
Thank
right.
you
She
very much.
works in a fast food restaurant.
That's right. Do the math.
This is science, if you can believe it. Now,
So what does that mean?
the machine still at this point needs prepared ingredients.
Okay.
So it isn't fully operational yet. But given prepared ingredients that have not been combined yet, Columbia University has created a machine, a 3D printer that will use the technology of 3D printing and prepared ingredients to basically cook your food.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
So in theory,
Yeah.
at a certain point, it could just like be a powder, and then
It
out
could
it
be
comes.
just a powder. Yes. Isn't that crazy?
I'm interested in how they handle pizza bites. Again,
once again,
that's one of
there's
the
a lot
greatest
there.
challenges
Yeah.
to
For sure.
our planet right now is how do you properly cook those pizza bites? So that's going to be something I don't even know if science is going to be able to figure
That's
out.
right.
But we'll
Nathan,
see.
would you have gotten that one right, you think?
I think so. I did just see an article about them printing a 7-layer cake.
Oh, wow.
And then baked it. So it was a slice of cake.
Yeah.
They built up the little cake walls and added jelly
Wow.
and different things inside.
Was that
it was real. It was really ugly, but possible.
was that article peer reviewed?
Listen,
Well, and actually, Nathan thought about sending that article to Chase and then didn't. And,
Didn't.
that
That's right.
hurts.
He didn't.
That hurts.
All right.
I read it.
Didn't see any citations. He was out. All right, Nathan, you got a chance to take a commanding lead here if you get this one right. Your last question of the round here on Science or Fiction. Are you ready?
Science or fiction?
Here we go. In the Marvel Universe, Tony Stark runs a company that builds weapons, including Iron Man's very own armor suit, which contains a computer, flying capabilities, shields, and the ability to shoot live ammunition. The U.S. Army has developed a prototype of a super suit which cannot fly but does contain a computer helping soldiers maneuver, fire with accuracy, and shield themselves from attacks. Science or fiction?
yeah. Given the appetite of the U.S. government, even if I thought it was outlandish, I would still say this is science.
He's going to say it's science, and actually it's fiction.
No.
Yeah, so
I mean, I knew it couldn't fly, but the guns and
it's a
and
little
the
bit,
armor,
I will say this, it's a little tricky. This is a little bit on a technicality. It's almost like I was one short and I needed one more. The United States government has developed something called a TALOS, or a Tactical Assault Light Operator suit, which
Yeah,
does
that's what I was talking about.
monitor a...
Yeah, I heard it.
It monitors a soldier's health, and it augments their strength a little bit. It does not have
But that
any...
suit can't also shoot.
It can't shoot.
Yeah.
It doesn't monitor health or vital signs. We're not there yet. It doesn't do it. It hasn't been developed.
All right.
So it's a little bit of a technicality, but that technicality does keep Chase within striking
Right.
distance.
Chase does get one more question, and it's a question that could lead this game to going into the first break completely tied.
completely
so this is
tied.
big, Chase.
That's right. This is big. Are you ready, Chase?
Yes, I am.
It's Who, What, When, South Carolina Public Radio. It's science or fiction. It's our last question of the round. Chase, that question is yours. Here we go. Set to warp speed is a line you're likely to hear in a space adventure, utilizing the sci-fi idea of matter traveling faster than light by bending space around the matter. Mathematician Miguel Alcubierre has discovered the Alcubierre drive, named after him, that shrinks space in front of a spacecraft while expanding space behind it, allowing the ship to move faster through space.
Wow.
Is that science or fiction?
Oh, this case on Who What When, South Carolina Public Radio.
Nice.
I'm going to be honest, guys. I haven't seen Star Wars or Star Trek. And so when you said warp speed, I was like, which one is it? And then I realized that's not even the question.
You've
But
not
at that point,
seen
I
Star
blanked
Wars
out.
or Star Trek?
And so I'm going to go science.
He's going to go science. He's going to be wrong.
Oh,
You said perfect game. We missed 3 in a row.
I know,
I
sorry.
don't want to be that, but you said it.
actually, I think if memory serves,
You said it, then I said it. You're
you
right.
are the problem.
I said it. You said it. It was fine. I said it. It was wrong.
That's exactly right. You can't double stand, but triple stand.
Now, the Alcubierre drive is a thing that is an idea that exists, but science has continually determined that it is not possible.
But they're trying. Someone's trying.
Certainly Miguel Alcubierre was. There's no doubt about it. No stopping him.
And
All
you've
right.
said that name 3 times, and I'd still get it wrong if I tried.
Alcubierre.
Yes. This is Who Will Win. I'm Brandon Gray.
And I'm Daniel Thompson. It's Sci-Fi Week here on the show. Our contestants Chase and Nathan are off to a great start, but it's time for us to take a quick break.
That's right. Coming up, we've got some bad sci-fi karaoke, so stick around here on Who What When.
Welcome back to Who What Wins, South Carolina Public Radio's hour of history, games, and trivia. I'm Daniel Thompson here with my good buddy Brandon Gray.
Hello.
We're playing games all about science fiction and pop culture.
Yes. And before we get back to today's competition, a quick reminder that you, yes, you, can be a part of a future episode of Who What When. That is not science fiction. All you got to do is call or text us, 803-470-6347, or send us an email, whowhatwin@scpublicradio.org.
That's right, Bran. Our contestants this week are Nathan and Chase. They're both from Greenville, South Carolina. And our next game is a special one. It's called Bad Karaoke Science Fiction Classics Edition. We've taken the plots of some famous sci-fi novels, movies, and TV shows, and we've set them to some pop hits.
That's right. The pop hits. The pop's not stopping here. I don't know. Chase and Nathan, I'm going to sing these plots for you, and you'll have to tell us which sci-fi stories we're talking about.
Now, Nathan, you're currently in the lead, and you have the board. The first question is yours. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, this is to the tune of Disco Inferno.
Burn, baby, burn. These books are burning. Guy's not gonna burn. He's saving McClellan.
There we go. There's your clue. Is that A, 1984, B, Fahrenheit 451, or C, Ender's Game?
You've got a former English teacher on the line here. This
boy.
is B, Fahrenheit 451.
Yeah, it is. How soon did you know it, Nathan?
Guy's Not Gonna Burn.
Guy's Not Gonna Burn. Yeah, Guy Montag, Clarice McClellan, I believe. A classic book. I very rarely just recommend novels. If you've never read this book,
Wow.
fantastic.
Look at
really
you.
good. All right, Nathan has got 4. Chase, backs against the wall here, buddy. Are you ready to play some bad karaoke?
I suppose.
All right. It's okay. Still plenty of time. This is to the tune of Shot Through the Heart.
Shot through the heart, the poor's to blame. Make our consciences forever clean. They must kill so their districts eat. All their hopes rest on Everdeen.
That's really good stuff, Bran.
Thanks.
Who wrote that? That's fantastic.
I don't even need the multiple choice.
Hit me, Chase.
Is it Hunger Games?
It is Hunger Games.
We got ourselves a game.
Yeah, we do. Hunger Games. Yeah, these are a little bit
You got
easier than...
yourself a former English student.
That's right. Oh, dang. This guy took English?
That's crazy.
It's unbelievable. All
What
right.
was your grade, Chase?
Not great.
All right.
Here we go. Nathan is 4-3. The board's yours. We're playing bad karaoke sci-fi classics. We're going to sing some pop hits, change the lyrics to plots of these movies, TV shows, or books. Brand's doing us that service. And you got a fun one here because not very often we get a Lou Bega reference. It should be more often. Brand is going to sing this one in the tune of Mambo number 5. Whenever you're ready, Brand.
All right. a little bit of Captain James T. Kirk, a little bit of Jean-Luc Picard, a little bit of Data and Q, Spock and Riker too, on the Enterprise. What?
Nathan, is that
Amazing.
Is that The Expanse? Is it Lost in Space? Is it Star Trek?
It's Star Trek.
Yeah,
that
it
was
is.
amazing.
Thank you.
I'm so proud of this segment. I'm unreasonably proud of this segment. I love it. I love it. I love it. And Brand's crushing it. All right, Nathan, you got 5. Chase, the onus is back on you, sir. Are you ready for your next question here on Who, What, When? Bad Karaoke Sci-Fi Classics.
Yes, I am.
All right, I love it. Here we go. This next one is sung to the tune of one of Brand's favorite songs. It's Complicated by Avril Lavigne.
Speaking of sci-fi, what happened to Avril? Was she replaced? Was there a body double?
She wasn't. No.
Okay.
She's still alive, Brand. Yeah.
Why'd you have to go? Here we go. Why'd you have to go to Iraq? It's Paul Atreides. I see the way the spice on the planet is making y'all so greedy.
Man, that was really good, dude.
Thanks.
That was really good. All right, Chase, is that Lord of the Rings? Is it Chronicles of Narnia? Or is it Dune?
Dune!
Yeah, it is. It's Dune. That's exactly right.
He's good.
Yeah.
He was a student.
He was.
You can hear it.
You can tell that
He's
he may
confident.
not have read Project Hail Mary, but he watches his movies.
That's right.
I know that about him. I know that.
Yeah.
So, all right, Chase, you're still in it. Nathan, it's 5-4. It's Who, What, When? It's South Carolina Public Radio, hour of history, games, and trivia. Bran, Dan, we're both here. We're playing some bad karaoke sci-fi classics. I'm excited about this one. Nathan, are you ready for your next clue here on bad karaoke?
I can hardly wait.
All right, it's Smooth by Santana featuring Rob Thomas
Of Matchbox 20?
of Matchbox 20.
Or the Veronica Mars creator?
No, Rob Thomas of Matchbox 20.
Okay.
We did not get the Veronica Mars creator.
Okay,
No.
great.
Here we go.
Yeah, it's as big as a planet. It looks like a moon, but the Death Star's a weapon that they'll use on you. Yeah, you're gonna need Leia and some guy named Luke to stop the Empire. Use the Force or else forget about it.
Man, I love it. I love it so much. Nathan, you're not going to miss this. Is it Star Wars Alien Arrival? Which one?
Amazing. The first line had me spinning. I did not know where this was going, but by the time we got to some guy named Luke, it's Star Wars.
Yeah, it's Star Wars. And also, I mean, it's as big as a planet. It looks like a moon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a great,
Yeah, right.
it's just, it's important stuff. All right, Chase, I don't want to say it's crunch time, but it's crunch time. You need this one. You got to get it right. Are you ready for your next bad karaoke classic?
Oh, yeah. And I've never been preying on someone's downfall more than caller number 1.
That's
fair.
exactly right.
That's fair.
Here we go. Go ahead, Brand, to the tune of Lean on Me.
Dream on me. We're planting ideas. We've got to get into his mind. We went too far. Can we survive? Is Leo dead or is he alive?
That's just perfect.
Thanks, guy. I've hit my stride.
The rest of them are playing for second place. Oh my gosh. Chase, is that The Prestige, Interstellar, or Inception?
That would be my third favorite Christopher Nolan movie, Inception.
That's correct.
Wow.
It's 6-5.
All right. This
Nathan-
is big.
This is big. Nathan, you got a chance with your next one here to take a commanding lead.
That's right.
Here in Bad Karaoke Sci-Fi Classics. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. This is to the tune of My Girl.
Here in Detroit, and this place is shot. Who's gonna fight this crime? How about a robot?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Is that Judge Dredd, RoboCop, or 8 Mile?
I'm sorry. And the first lines included "This place is shot."
This place is shot.
This
Yes.
place is shot. This is Detroit. This was my biggest curveball because I haven't seen any of those, but I'm going to go RoboCop just because it feels more like a safe bet.
All right. I can't believe he didn't go 8 Mile. He went RoboCop, and it is correct.
About that.
Judge Dredd was the other. There's also a robot that dispenses judge, but Detroit was your key there.
Gotcha.
It does say robot
says
also.
Robot but Judge Dredd is a robot.
Yeah, but if he hadn't seen any of the movies, I didn't know Judge Dredd was a robot.
Yeah, it's Carl Urban or Sylvester Stallone, depending on your dread. That's exactly right. All right, Nathan, a commanding lead. Chase, are you ready for your next question here on Bad Karaoke Sci-Fi Classics?
Right here on South Carolina Public Radio.
You
Yes,
get
I
it. Yes, shout out.
Shout out.
That's what I'm talking about. All right, this is the tune of the Black Eyed Peas hit, I Got a Feeling.
And Chase, I'm going to need your help here because there's some oohs
With
in
the
this
delay?
song,
You're gonna
and
do that?
I think Chase has got it.
Okay.
Chase, you're familiar with the song "I've Got a Feeling" by the Black Eyed Peas, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So just whenever it feels right, you can ooh. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I got a feeling that we might not be in reality. I got a feeling that we need Neo and Trinity. I just woke up. I took the red pill. I know karate. Let's kick it off.
All right, Chase.
Great job, Chase.
Is that Signs, The Matrix, or Battlestar Galactica?
Guys, I'm really glad that was so easy because I was so focused on the ooh that I forgot to pay attention.
Yeah.
But luckily, it's the Matrix.
It is The Matrix. He is correct. A perfect category for
right.
both Nathan and Chase, which means they crushed it.
Yes.
But it also means with a 1-point advantage, Nathan is moving on to the final round of that fanny pack.
It goes to show you that when you come here to play Who, What, When, you got to come and bring it. Every question matters, Dan.
Every question matters. That's exactly right. Chase, you didn't win. You came up short this week on Who, What, When, but we thank you for playing. Any last words, any words of just sadness about not getting this fanny pack? Anything you'd like to tell the people listening that might want to call in?
I came in a bit combative, very competitive. I can't explain the rage I have in my heart right now because I wanted that fanny pack.
Yeah.
But I will say I had a very intelligent adversary, and it couldn't go to a better person. I hope you get that fanny pack.
Chase, thanks so much for playing Who, What, When. Nathan, you're moving on with a chance to win that Who, What, When fanny pack. You're our champion of the week this week, Nathan. How does it feel?
Feels pretty great. And as a purveyor of fine fanny packs, I'm very interested in what is about to happen.
You're listening to Who, What, When. I'm Brandon Gray, and I'm here with my buddy, Daniel Thompson.
Hey, buddy. Our contestant Nathan has come out on top on today's show about science fiction. Now, let's see how he does in our final round as he tries to take home a Who, What, When fanny pack.
In the words of my dad, Yoda, do or do not, Nathan. There is no try. That's coming up after this break right here on Who, What, When.
Welcome back to Who, What, When, an hour of history, games, and trivia on South Carolina Public Radio. I'm Daniel Thompson.
And I'm Brandon Gray. Thanks so much for joining us for our Science Fiction Week. Before we get to our final game, we want to remind you that you can join us on a future episode of Who, What, When. All you got to do is call or text us, 803-470-6347. I've gotten word that anything goes on that line, so you can reach out to us that way. Or you can send us an email, whowhatwhen@scpublicradio.org.
That's right, Bran. Our contestant Nathan from Greenville, South Carolina, won our first 2 rounds and now has a shot at the title of Who, What, When Champion of the Week. Bragging rights. And of course, the trophy amongst all trophies, the Who, What, When fanny pack. All he has to do is get through our final game. It's one we play a lot around here. It's called History or His Story.
That's right, Nathan. Here is how it's going to work. Dan has 3 stories from history that sound like they could be science fiction. 2 of these stories are real. One of them has been completely made up by my friend and liar, Dan. It's his story. And after you hear each story, you're going to get a chance to talk with me. We'll talk it out. We'll ask any questions that we have. And at the end of the game here, you'll get a chance to guess which story is Dan's. That is History or His Story.
Nathan, are you ready to play a little History or His Story?
I'm very excited. Let's go.
All right, let's do it. Your first story is called Bigfoot was sighted at the Super Bowl. The first Bigfoot sighting was in Northern California in 1958, where there's a guy who had pictures of giant footprints that could only be attributed to a giant mammal that walked on 2 legs, hence the name Bigfoot. Most Bigfoot sightings come on the West Coast, Washington State and California being the top 2 states. Believers in Bigfoot think that the giant Sasquatch weighs anywhere from 700 to 900 pounds. Now, the first Super Bowl, that's a big boy. The first Super Bowl was held in 1967 at the Los Angeles, California Coliseum, which is located in the middle of Exposition Park. And at the time, that was surrounded by trees. It is not anymore, but at the time, Exposition Park was trees on each end of the parking lot. This was a big deal because for the first time, the two football leagues, the AFL and the NFL, had never played each other, and it was broadcast on two different networks, CBS and NBC. The Chiefs played the Packers. CBS cameraman Ray Wallace, the guy in charge of the overhead shot of the first Super Bowl, is at the top of the Coliseum filming the Super Bowl during the first quarter. He sees outside of the Coliseum at the far end of the parking lot what he describes as a massive animal, too big to be anything else, considering how far away I was. Ray tries to turn his camera to the being, but the camera is locked into its radius to film the Super Bowl. Ray then leaves his station, at the top of the Coliseum, running down the Coliseum, and then full speed with his personal camera to try to get a better photo of Bigfoot. In the CBS coverage of the Super Bowl, there is a brief moment in the first quarter where the screen says stand by for technical difficulties as CBS has to switch views in the production tent and get another camera operator to man Ray's camera. Ray is subsequently fired by CBS. And to the day that he died in 1987, he is convinced he saw Bigfoot. He said, I know Bigfoot exists because I've seen him. Said Ray to the LA Times, I may have lost my job, but you can never take my knowledge of the existence of this great beast away from me. That is the end of story number one, Bran.
Well, I just want to say a couple of things. One, justice for Ray.
Justice for Ray, of course.
He did the right thing.
You believe every word he said?
100%.
Yes, of course you do.
Why would I not believe every word that he says? You cannot believe in Bigfoot and still believe everything that he said.
I guess.
He saw a giant beast.
That's right, yes.
I, for one...
Are you okay with him just leaving his station during the Super Bowl?
Well, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
If you saw like what you thought might be an alien out in the woods, you wouldn't go and run and check that out?
It's a tough apples to apples because I would get my phone out, which has a telephoto lens on. I would zoom in. I would take a picture immediately. In 1967, I have a job to do. That's a mammal from across a parking lot at thousands of feet away, and it could be literally anything. I've got to film it's the first Super Bowl. I can't.
It couldn't just be a bobcat. If he can see it from across the stadium down there, that's a big bear.
It's a big bear.
It's a big bear.
It's on the state flag, man. I'm glad that you're in Ray's pocket there. Nathan, what do you think?
So this is one of those, like you guys have said, this could be anybody saying anything at any time. So to me, this is a total coin toss.
Yeah.
As he ran the alleged Bigfoot down with his personal camera, did he get a shot with his
did not.
his personal Nikon?
No, by the time he got out of the stadium, that Bigfoot, or what he thinks was Bigfoot, was nowhere to be found, according to Ray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is less a question about Bigfoot and more a question about Ray. So I'm hoping one of the other two stories is a dead giveaway.
Yeah. But an important part of this is not just did somebody say something, but did somebody say something, do something, and then get fired from it? And do we have it on record? So it's not just...
That's right.
Did someone named Ray say he saw Bigfoot?
It's one thing to say he saw Bigfoot. It's another thing that the ramifications were.
During the Super Bowl, did he get fired?
That's right.
All of that needs to be true.
That's right.
Understood.
Correct.
You got this.
All right, here we go. We're ready for story number two?
I'm ready.
Yes.
All right. Story number two is NASA tapes over the moon landing. Bran has got his wheels turning over there about if the moon landing's real or not. Everybody knows, most people know, that Apollo 11 in 1969 was the first manned space shuttle to land on the moon.
Sure.
That moment when Neil Armstrong walks on the moon for the first time was broadcast around the country for millions upon millions of people to see.
One small step for man.
That's right. Most people believe that it actually happened. Some people, some conspiracists, some moon landing conspiracists, have many theories as to why the moon landing was fake. You can't see the stars on the TV. The flag is blowing in the wind, which doesn't exist in space. They all revolve around it being shot on a soundstage. Those are all those conspiracy theorists. They believe it was shot on a soundstage. So the moon landing was broadcast using real-time scan conversion from SSTV slow scan TV to NTSC, National Television System Committee. Right. Because this was a real-time conversion, it was essentially like the moon landing was being live streamed to the public, which is a crazy thing to do from space. The conversion was a success, and people were able to watch this live while the SSTV was recorded as a backup for posterity. So the slow scan was recorded as a backup. The NTSC was recorded for people to watch live. All right? So the moon landing conspiracy theories made mainstream in the late 1970s thanks to several different movies and books. In the 1980s, NASA began a Landsat program designed to be a state-of-the-art image capturing technology for their outer space satellites. During this Landsat program, it was announced by NASA that they could not find the tapes, Bran.
Okay.
They couldn't find the tapes of the original moon landing. NASA said that because of the success of the conversion from SST to NTSC, an emphasis was not placed on keeping track of the original recorded SSTV footage. So NASA is saying they don't have the tapes because an emphasis wasn't placed on it. It was old technology. Right? So this announcement threw gasoline on the moon landing conspiracy theory fire. By 1990, over 5% of Americans believed the moon landing was fake. In 2009, NASA released a newly restored version of the moon landing, but did admit that the original tapes were accidentally magnetically erased and recorded over at the advent of the Landsat program. It was part of an effort to save money because of the vast expense of tape needed for the new project. That is their last formal stance on the issue. That is the end of story number 2, Bran. What are you thinking?
It's interesting. At the end of the day, though, it was still broadcast live on TV.
It was broadcast live, yes.
And I just think, could this have happened? Yeah, I don't really think it's a big. If you're asking me, I don't.
You don't think it's a big deal?
I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think it helps push the narrative of a fake moon landing
If you thought the moon landing was fake, and then NASA came out and said, we can't show you the original tapes. We don't have them.
Yeah, but others do.
That wouldn't.
Other company news. I'm sure there's.
No one has
the
original film.
I don't know about it.
Okay. All right.
I don't know about
For
that.
someone who's a conspiracy theorist, it seems like that's right up your alley. But what do I know? Nathan, what do you think?
Yeah, it sounds totally plausible from a technology standpoint. But yeah, I'm with Bran in the sense that this feels like a plausible story, but it doesn't feel like anything that lends weight to conspiracy theorists.
Is it something? Sure. Is it anything?
You guys are crazy.
No.
Not crazy enough.
Because they do. Here's the point. They do have the original whatever NTSC version that was being simultaneously broadcast. So they do have original footage. They just only have one format of the original
that
footage.
NTSC was recorded off of the SSTV version. So we have a copy of it. We don't have the original, is what this story is saying. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So some doubt there. I hear you. Are we ready for the last story?
I'm ready.
All right. The last story number 3, is Jimmy Carter files a UFO report. Now, Brandon, this is right up your alley. Just is. You love the
ears
UFOs.
perked up.
That's right. Here we go. Jimmy Carter, as you know, is the 39th president of the United States, who passed away at 100 years old, our longest living
Rest in peace, obviously.
president. That's exactly right. He gained the popularity in the 1970s as the Republicans were splintered after Nixon and Ford, many of whom lived in the South and enjoyed Carter's Southern charm as a former governor and peanut farmer of Georgia. In 1973, Carter filed a report with the International UFO Bureau in Oklahoma City, a bureau that I did not know existed. This is what the report said. In 1969, 2 years before becoming governor of Georgia, Carter was preparing to give a speech at the Lions Club in Oklahoma City. At 7:15 at night, a guest at the event showed Jimmy an object in the sky just above the horizon. You with me, Bran?
I'm with you.
Carter, in his report, described the object as being bright white, about as bright as the moon.
Yep.
But what was interesting to Jimmy Carter was how visible the object was, considering how near it was to the horizon. So approximate 30-degree angle. So if you think of one right here, 30 degrees up from the horizon, that is kind of where that was. And he couldn't believe how very distinct and visible it was. The report he gave to the UFO Bureau also stated that the object, which did not appear to be solid, moved towards them. So it's moving towards them, and it stopped in an area of pine trees just short of the facility. So at this time, the object is now closer, and Jimmy Carter reports that it changed colors from blue to red and then eventually back to white, receding into the distance. So object that's fuzzy and white near the horizon moves closer in trees, goes from white all the way to red, back to white, and then it recedes, backs up, puts it in reverse, and then it's gone. In 2005, Carter still backs this story. He said all of a sudden, one of the men looked up and said, "Look over in the west," and there was a bright light in the sky. We all saw it, and then the light, it got closer and closer to us, and then it stopped. I don't know how far away, but it stopped beyond the pine trees, and all of a sudden it changed color to blue, and then it changed to red, and then back to white, and we were trying to figure out what in the world it could be, and then it receded into the distance. The Lions Club meeting reports, where he was scheduled to speak before after he saw this, doesn't line up with his report. So the Lions Club meeting is set to have taken place in January, according to our historical documents. Carter's report was filed in October, throwing some disbelief on this. An investigation concluded 7 years after the event occurred. Most people from the Lions Club meeting either not remembering the object or saying it could have been anything. Reports concluded that it was a misidentification of the planet Venus. Jimmy Carter, to his deathbed, would tell you that it was an unidentified flying object. That is the end of story number 3. Bram, what do you think?
This is 100%
Justice
true.
for Jimmy.
Justice for Jimmy. And I just want to say this. A lot of people hear UFO and immediately think alien. And I think it's important to state that what dear Jimmy is saying is not that he saw an alien, but that he saw an object in the sky that he could not identify.
That's what that means.
I think that this is 100% true.
100% true. Nathan, what do you think?
I think Brand's got he's got the right of it on this one. I also want to note, wasn't it fun when we lived in a time where the things presidents did before becoming president were just sort of quirky and fun and eccentric.
It's
we had a Hollywood actor become president. We got a UFO sighting
peanut farmer.
This harms absolutely no one that he thinks it's a UFO.
That's right.
It harms no one.
Exactly right.
It's just good, clean fun.
That's just nice. Yeah. That's nice.
Yeah.
It is. All right, Nathan, your 3 stories.
Yeah.
Bigfoot spotted at the Super Bowl. NASA taping over the moon landing. Jimmy Carter spotting a UFO and swearing by it. Those are your 3 stories.
I think stories 2 and 3 are just so dang plausible when it comes to the reliability or unreliability of both memory and historical data devices. Those just feel right on the nose. So even though there were lots of specifics, and I have a tug at my heart for justice for Ray as well, I'm going to say that Ray, not a real situation there.
Ray, I know you want Ray to be real.
I want it to be real, but I actually agree with Nathan on this one. While I personally, if I saw a Bigfoot or alien, would leave my post, I do believe that to get to the point to where you are running a camera for CBS for a big event, you're a bit more of a professional than your boy Brand is.
Stay at your
and
post.
so they would stay at the post.
You'd
So
think
while there might have been a person at Super Bowl that may have seen
at Super Bowl
a Bigfoot or a big mammal, I don't think that this story is
Big
true.
mammal on campus. It's another great episode of Who Won't Win. That's exactly right. All right, Nathan, you've locked it in. Ray seeing Bigfoot at the Super Bowl is your answer. We'll start with Jimmy Carter. That story is 100% true.
Yeah.
It's a pretty famous story at this point.
Yeah.
Pretty famous story. Jimmy Carter swears he saw an unidentified flying object.
Watch a documentary. You know what I mean?
Come on, am I right? And then we'll go to your boy Ray. Did he see Bigfoot? Did he leave his post? That story is my story.
Hey,
it's my story.
Nathan.
My story. None of that's real aside from the stats about the Super Bowl. There's no Ray. He doesn't exist.
How about that?
None of that. The only thing that's real there is the actual Packers versus Chiefs 1967 bit. The rest of it is not true at all.
That's amazing. Nathan, you're getting one heck of a fanny pack, pal.
How do you feel, man?
Man, I feel beyond stoked. Is this, are the fanny packs, are they custom?
They're custom.
Yeah, it's a custom.
So there will be like some UFOs, some Bigfoots on this one?
That's
And
exactly right.
It's designed specifically so you can put your copy of Project Hail Mary in it and take it wherever
The
you like to
dimensions
go.
are perfect
That's exactly right.
for one, maybe two copies of Project Hail Mary.
That's right. Maybe two.
Maybe two.
Maybe two. Nathan, you're the big winner this week, Nathan. Congratulations. Any last words for the folks at home?
I don't think so, man. This was a blast.
Awesome. Well, thanks for playing Who Won't Win.
And that'll do it for the sci-fi edition of Who Will Win. Thanks again to our contestants, Nathan and Chase, for playing with us today. And a big congratulations to Nathan for taking home the title of Who Will Win Champion of the Week.
Our producer is A.T. Shire. Our executive producer is Sean Birch, who knows the truth is out there. This show is a production of South Carolina Public Radio and is made possible by listener contributions to the ETV Endowment of South Carolina.
If you'd like the chance to be a contestant on Who What When, call or text us 803-470-6347 or send us an email to whowhatwhen@scpublicradio.org.
You can find out more about the show at our website, southcarolinapublicradio.org/whowhatwhen.
And you can subscribe to this show in your favorite podcast app or listen via your smart speaker.
I'm Daniel Thompson.
And I'm Brandon Gray. Join us again next week for more history, games, and trivia right here on Who What When.